Alright, welcome to another review of The Walking Dead, episode 8. No, season 8, episode 11. So, we have a guest. We have a guest today.
Oh shit, did you pick your animal?
No,
we're not doing that with this
one.
Oh,
yeah, not this one.
Yeah, true.
This is, have you caught up? Is this the first episode you've seen since,
it's Vapor or
yeah. I want to say it was maybe the second episode of this season, season 8.
Oh man, so yeah, you were way behind.
Mm-hmm.
But you already knew about Carl's death.
I knew about Carl, yeah.
Because of the news, or how'd you find out?
Maybe I was 4 episodes in. And when did Carl die?
He died at episode 9.
Okay, well then maybe we're on episode 11 right now?
Yeah.
Okay then. I didn't know about Carl. I think I just heard about it.
Yeah.
Fuck this show. It's boring as hell.
You didn't even see the full episode. You fell asleep like halfway
this
through.
This shit reminds me of Murder, She Wrote. Fucking Monk.
Alright, well, you already...
Monk? I forgot about that show.
You already said this show was boring last episode, so you're just repeating shit.
Are you referring to Walking Dead or Talking Dead?
The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
No, I mean, granted, I did come in a half hour into it already for this episode.
But you didn't really miss much.
Exactly. And if that's the case, what the fuck, man?
Let's
spend a half hour.
Well, we know this show likes to fill its fillers, so you know that's what this episode was, a fucking filler. But all right, so let's start off with Gabriel and Negan's.
They had a scene together.
Their little duel. Yeah, I mean, I think they're becoming friends.
One I have written here, Gabriel and Negan's doctor having car engine with the Jaguar. Jules commented, "Good luck fixing that." Remember that shit?
Oh, the Jaguar? Jag?
What happened with the Jaguar?
They're driving like a 90s Jag.
Oh,
It's like... And it was like, you know, they kind of put it in the show that he was kind of having trouble starting it too. Right, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh man, if that thing breaks down, like...
You're fucked. And you're
like
right, like...
Mechanics.
The only thing that I remember about cars is how people complain that European cars is hard to find parts for, so that's why
they're just... Some of them are just designed very...
Flawed?
Yeah, very shitty. It's like, you know, you make it hard to just change the oil.
Yeah.
And then the parts are expensive as shit, too.
Yeah. Why is Gabriel's fucking nose red? Like, I know, like...
He got bit by a reindeer.
No. So, like, I wrote down
he got bit by a reindeer?
By Rudolph the Red-Nosed
What
Reindeer.
the fuck happened while I was...
He's turning into him. I'm kidding. No, he didn't.
He can't play with me. I came in halfway through the show.
Sorry, yeah, I forgot about that.
Gabriel's been sick for a while, and I forget why. All I know is that I remember at the beginning of this season, he, after fucking Rick went on his attack against Negan and shit, fucking Gabriel got caught, and while he was in Negan's hands, he started showing symptoms of being ill somehow, or for some reason. And so I think they're just continuing that, and in this episode, he goes blind for a little bit, but then they find some antibiotics, which we'll get into in a little bit. But anyways.
I think it was all just leading up to, like, the death of the doctor.
The doctor?
The doctor. I think it was all leading up to that. Just that I think they had that quote that he said at the end. What did he say? What was that whole little, like, exchange between Gabriel and the doctor?
I mean, it was just basically Gabriel telling the doctor, "I told you so," that, like, fucking God is real, because fucking...
And then what does he say?
What do you mean?
What does the doctor say before he offs himself?
Oh, yeah. That he finally sees the light or something like that.
See it. He's like, I see it.
And then he sees... because basically...
they were discussing Gabriel being sick, and... Right?
Yeah, well, because Gabriel was basically saying, you know, you got to see the light in the sense of, like, you know, you got to see hope and see things through. But the doctor basically says, "I see the light," and just grabs the fucking fool's gun, the guy that's keeping him guard and shit, and he shoots himself in the fucking...
Ultimate level of narcissism right there.
Yeah. Seriously. He's like, fuck all y'all, I'm out of here.
I don't know. I wasn't getting that vibe from him. I don't know.
Like what, the narcissistic vibe? Or
yeah, good job of... I mean, that action was...
Well, I guess it just comes to the perspective of how... at least how I view suicide.
Yeah.
Because suicide, in my opinion, is a selfish way out. You know what I mean?
Well, and also it's momentary. I don't think people, or I mean,
I don't think. Yeah, you're
I'd
right.
hope
I know
not.
what you're going for. I don't
Yeah,
think it's
like-
selfish because selfishness, I think, takes a while. You gotta
Mhm.
you gotta
You gotta-
ruminate about what
Mhm.
you're being like what you want. You know what you're jealous about.
Yeah.
Versus suicide, I think comes. It's like a built up of emotions, but I think once
But
a
it's
person makes a choice, I can't speak for anyone, but it seems like it's like it just it's like one of those things where you just kind of like fuck it.
like if
No,
you
I
don't do
get
it
that,
now,
right?
you probably won't do it.
It's like
After type
it's
thing.
like you know, like
That's
when
why
there's
it's
a
the easy
murder
way
and
out. Because
Wait,
essentially you're doing it because you can't take the pressure so much that you're only, or at least the way that you feel that the only way to take off the pressure is by eliminating yourself, because once you kill yourself, you can't be holden to anything anymore.
yeah,
You know what I
that's true. You're right,
But
but I
at
don't
the
know.
same time,
I don't
you're
know
not
that. I don't think
existent
that
anymore.
people are like. It's like anger, you know. I think like emotions are. It's hard to be logical when it comes to emotions because people do things. When emotions are in play, people do crazy shit that they end up regretting later. You know,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck was I doing?
I have.
It's like an act of passion, like murder versus like
Yeah.
right? Is that
Mhm.
where you're going?
I have, yeah, and my example for that, at least for us, but yeah, it's open. It's open.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one time we took a trip to Mexico, right? And Mexico's Mexico.
Right.
We're at some lake. It hasn't been proclaimed, a lake where people can swim or anything. It's just a fucking strip of water
Yeah.
where there's water and it's deep.
There's water
and
and
people
we're here and yeah.
and people know it's deep and shit.
Yeah.
And then there's a fucking 40-foot cliff.
Okay. You're
And-
at a quarry.
And my cousins live by there, so they know it, and they're jumping off the cliff,
Where in
and they're
Mexico?
going to
Somewhere in Michoacan.
Turicatu,
Turicato?
Turicatu, Michoacan.
Okay.
I think so. I might
It's
be
all right,
flubbing
yeah,
it up,
this
but
is-
and
I
so
was curious.
and so my cousin, yeah, it is
Whatever it
Turicatu
is.
now that I'm thinking of it, but my cousins are jumping off into this, strip of water, and like they're coming out fine. I'm like, okay, fuck it, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
There's water snakes, but you'll be fine.
But
I
I
did it.
stood
I
there for
remember
like
this
5
shit.
minutes.
I
No,
did
you
it.
did it too, motherfucker. You got it
I
on
don't
film.
remember it.
There's 5 minutes where I'm just right
You're
there
wearing a
contemplating
GoPro, dude.
it.
Come on.
I spent a good 5 minutes just standing there looking at the distance
At
and
the cliff, looking
yeah,
down, and
and just contemplating it. And the only thing that made me do it was that one fucking moment
right.
where I just said, you know what, fuck this shit. I ain't no bitch.
I ain't no punk bitch.
You know
and I
what?
know it's terrible to say while we're discussing suicide, because it's like, no, you're not a bitch if you decide not to commit suicide. But it's just
Right.
like it could have gone either way.
Mhm.
But it just took that one moment for me to decide that I'm jumping off this fucking cliff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, that's
Well,
my
I
analogy.
commend you for thinking me so brave, but the reason that I remember not taking that jump is because I remember you and my dad getting sick over that trip.
oh, that's right.
And
we
I
did.
didn't get sick because I didn't take
You
that
didn't
jump.
go in the water,
No,
though.
no.
You fucker.
Yeah. I commend you for thinking me brave, though, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, I mean, I only found out
Well,
that
you
dead
know what
people.
I think that is? I think it's like the Big Brother, and like I think it's like birth order theory coming into play. Like he's the Big Brother, so you see him as like a leader. So you imagine like, yeah, of course the left did it.
If I
I'm a
did
big
it, he
bro- I
did it,
of
yeah.
course he did.
Well,
Yeah,
not
there's
in
a
this
bias
case.
there. There's a little brother, big brother bias. But that's cool. That's interesting.
No.
That's interesting.
All right, so what were we at? What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about suicide.
Yeah. we were talking about suicide.
Well, because we were talking about the doctor, but we got there because of Gabriel's
Doctor,
sickness
doctor.
and shit.
Oh yeah, well the doctor suicided himself.
Yeah, yeah. All right, but let's
Cited himself.
So Rosita mentioned to Tara that they lost a. Oh, okay. So but all right. So there was this scene where fucking Rosita and like Tara and Daryl are all hiding and shit because they're escaping from Alexandria to the hilltop and shit. And Rosita, there's a moment where she mentions. I think you were here for that, Jules. I don't think you were here for that. But there's a moment where Rosita mentions to Tara that they already lost a kid. Now, I just assumed that they're talking about Carl, and I know you weren't here
We're
for the
confused
Carl
about
death.
what kid they were talking about.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of it just goes to show that they're still trying to. They're trying to portray Rosita in a certain light. You know,
Like
and
caring light?
everybody, I think in general, like they're less human, you know, less emotional about people. Like, you know, we just lost a kid versus Carl just died. You know, even though they were a close knit group, like I feel like you know, I would have said, you know, Carl just died, or we just lost a kid. It sounds disconnected, like it's a kid.
Yeah,
It's not our kid.
It'd be that attitude of like,
You know.
oh my god, a kid just died, and
Versus
who
like,
the fuck cares? People die every day, b. Type
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So what are you guys saying that she wasn't talking about Carl though? This was someone
No,
else.
I think she was talking about Carl, but I'm just focusing on the fact that how's their, you know, the you know, where the writers are making her, they're just trying to portray a certain personality.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're trying to say everybody, you know, just as the show's progressing, like they're becoming less and less human. Not human, but what we know is human.
Yeah.
You know, emotional, close knit, whatever.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Sort of. I get.
They're
I'm
becoming
too
less more disconnected. I don't know if that's what they're
Well,
going
but
for.
that's assuming that.
I mean, maybe it's just a hint.
Well, here's the
They're
thing.
like,
Here's the thing. That's assuming that she's talking about Carl. The fact that what you're saying is that they've become desensitized, and at this point, like they're just kind of.
Well,
like,
who
referring
else
to
are they talking about? They're talking
Well,
about Carl.
That's what That's what we're assuming, but I don't think so though. I don't think they're talking about Carl. I could be wrong. That's why we gotta watch this
Are
episode.
there any
again.
other kids
shut up, dogs.
that died?
I mean, there was people who died. I'm sure there was.
Hey,
kids
close
who
that
died.
window behind you because this podcast is gonna suck.
So I was saying, Morgan and Carol. Oh, so okay. So do you remember when fucking that kid was asking who killed his brother and shit like
I
that?
remember when fucking that kid was asking.
Well, fucking that conversation with fucking Carol and Morgan was.
Oh, they had a moment.
conversation.
Well, there was a dilemma because, like, in this case, Carol was being. I mean, you made a comment that like these characters have kind of gone through the same thing over and over again by being like, "Oh, I'm on this side," and "No, on that side." Carol's a perfect example of that because when she first started out this whole series, she was the meek like housewife, beaten housewife by like the husband and shit, right? Then her husband dies and she has to go through some shit with Sophia dying and shit like that. And then after all that, she becomes hardened and like a badass who fucking doesn't give a fuck about dying and shit, and just starts killing fuckers left and right,
Well,
right?
I think she found.
Well, let me finish,
an
let me
outlet.
finish.
She was learning. She was a work in progress, and she was learning a lot about herself, and she realized like I don't have to rely on other people, and she became very independent and kind
Correct.
of found herself.
Mm-hmm.
But she still had never forgot where she came from. You know, she hardened, she became, you know, badass. But I think she's still very human, and I think they're still trying to show you that. You know?
Okay.
And they do every episode. Every time Carol's there, she always says some shit where she's all badass, and then she says some like mama, like heartwarming.
Dude,
like,
yes.
shit, right?
That pisses me off kind of because like she'll be this extreme badass like hard, I don't got no heart and shit, this and that.
That's what
but then she'll have her fucking moment where like something gets to her, something reaches her, and it's just kind of like, no bitch, that's not you.
But I feel like it always has to do with kids. They kind of always put her with the kids, right? It's been going on for a couple seasons.
Even
now.
though she's also a
I
kid
haven't
killer.
caught that, but
Right, and I think that's why they do that. I mean, that's the perfect. It works out. Yeah, that makes sense.
If that's the case, that's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, you just blew my mind. I completely forgot about that.
About how she killed fucking
Yeah,
little...
and so she feels guilty, and so that's why she's with the kids, and that's what that whole comment was about when what's his name, the
Morgan?
karate ninja Morgan was talking about
Karate ninjas.
you know,
Ninja Turtle.
Ninja Turtle, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Morgan.
Donatello, the one with the stick.
Yeah, he's a real life Donatello, and so he says, he wants to tell why don't you want to tell him the truth? And then Carol's like, well, he's only a child. So it's, her
Yeah,
motherly
she's
instinct,
trying to
but
protect
also-
children still. Like,
And also maybe a little guilt from maybe.
man,
her
that's
having
funny because
murdered
not
a
like
child.
because it was I made a little fucking, I don't know if it's a meme or whatever. It's like back in like season 3 or season 4 when they were like coming out of fucking what was that cannibal's place that they went to?
Oh,
Remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
that. It was where the general
It was
or
right
the
before-
governor
the
was,
governor,
right?
yeah.
No, after the governor.
No.
They'd escaped the governor and they were following
It
like
was a different place.
train.
I always thought it was the same spot.
No, it was a different place. Yeah. And like it turned out to be like
Oh,
like
right.
the signs kept saying like
Oh yeah, it was like
sanctuary
some
whole
meatery
thing.
or
Yeah.
some meat factory.
Exactly that one. Yeah. They got there and it turned out to be like a cannibal's den and shit like that. Did Maggie give? Oh no, she did give birth, and that baby that she had in that
Does not
crib.
look Asian, dude. If you're gonna, and that, no offense, and
That's not
also,
where I was going. I was gonna go.
No,
does
that's
not
not where
look
you were
old
going. But
enough.
you earlier mentioned racism, and I was like, I know it wasn't directed at me because this is my first time here, but I was like,
it wasn't directed at you.
but Asian genes are pretty strong. They've got very dominant genes, and like, that baby was white.
Well,
White.
the only way
White cake.
I completely agree with you, but the reason that I give them a pass is because, look, and I don't know the statistics on this, but I don't know how hard it is to get like an ethnically specific baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's babies out there for people putting them for like TV work and all that, but I don't know how hard it is to get like
Babies out there for sale.
No, not for sale, fool.
Well,
Like parents who are willing to put their babies up for like acting work. In this case,
selling their babies.
Yeah, okay, selling
For
their
money.
babies
Yeah,
for
their,
work.
Their baby, the way their baby looks.
Anyways, the point is that like to get a specific type of baby, I'm pretty sure it's not that easy. So like, in other words, I don't think I blame them too much for not getting an ethnically
I think they
specific
just
baby.
got other stuff they're trying to focus on. They're like, just getting baby, whatever.
Would it be different if one of the people
That'll
that
do.
made the baby were black and the baby
It's
still
possible
came out
that's
white?
what that
Wait,
baby is
wait.
related to like somebody who's in the
Yeah.
the show making process.
That's what I'm saying.
They're like,
It's-
oh, let me go get your baby, and you just had a baby. Congratulations, we'll put him in the show. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
In
What
other
did
words,
Robert say?
in other words, what I'm asking is,
It
if
wouldn't have
a
hurt
white
them
male
to
or
kinda give
female
them-
and a black male or female were to have a baby within the context of the show,
Yeah.
and the baby came out strictly white, would you still feel the same
Yeah.
way that you're expressing right now, or would you sort of
No.
agree to Jules's
No.
comment
I mean,
to how it's like, what the fuck?
In terms of like keeping the
Thank you,
continuity of the story.
I'm not like, thank you, but
Look,
like,
no,
like,
but-
you make a
but-
good
but
point.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
think
it's
about
like-
it.
No, and I'm answering it. And the truth is, yeah, I would still bring up the same question because that's, I mean, if we're talking about realism within the storyline, then yeah, I would pay attention to genetics, and I know a lot of people on the internet that do pay attention to that shit, and
Most
they
people
try
do,
to
but
retcon shit.
We
No.
want to be PC.
No, I get that.
We also,
I get that. In terms of like
But-
the real world and what they need to hire and who they hire and all that shit, I get that. But I'm talking about like story wise, it does affect story wise, and people do bring it up to
are
question,
they being
and then
lazy?
people do end up retconning, basically meaning that like people rationalize it to their own story anyways.
Yeah.
So let's see, Morgan. Okay, so all right. Well, we went over that. Let's see. And Gabriel says, "I told you so." When he tells the doctor that the radio announcer saved someone's life, and then it turned out that fucking they found the antibiotics that fucking Morgan needed to survive and all that shit. So blah blah blah.
Okay, biological warfare.
What about biological warfare?
That's where we end.
Oh, that's right. I mean, you're moving on a little bit too much, or
Okay,
a little further ahead than where I was going to. But let's move on to that. Okay. Yeah, because fucking Eugene. I don't know if it was intentional. You might be, you make your own guess on whether it was intentional or not.
Eugene.
But he gave Negan the idea of biological warfare by throwing
He's
over.
Tupac, bro. Tupac once says, "I want to be the light that ignites the fire.
Wait,
For
who's
the next
Tupac?
one.
Negan
Yeah,
or
he's like,
Eugene?
I don't want to be the fire. I just want to ignite the fire.
Yeah.
I just want to talk some shit and hopefully people react.
So Eugene's
you know.
Tupac?
Eugene.
Yeah, Eugene's being
Oh my
Tupac right now, dude. And
You're giving that fool a lot of credit, bro.
I mean,
Yeah,
There he is. Oh my god, speaking of.
they're both TV
Fucking
celebrities,
Eugene right there.
but one's a real person.
wait, who?
Tupac's a real.
Oh,
Eugene,
okay, I see
you
what
know,
you're
but,
saying,
like,
yeah,
it's easy to.
Here's
I'm
the-
just kidding.
The priest, Gabriel.
Is this the next episode or?
No, this is the episode.
Oh, they're
we just
replaying
watched
it.
with
Why?
you.
No, keep that shit on mute, dude.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, like, I mean, not to give Eugene credit like that or anything, but I mean, he literally is the light that ignited the fire that's gonna come. Cause holy shit, they're weaponizing the
zombies.
fucking virus.
Yeah.
And you know what?
What
I
you
gotta
mean?
give credit to this show because they're going back to form. This is what I appreciate. This is what got me started watching the show.
If
'Cause-
by back to form you mean something that they should have thought of like season 1.
well, I mean, could you
Or
have thought of
season
this
2.
back in 2011?
Okay, I'll give it to you. Maybe not, but during the governor seasons.
Because I'll tell you one thing. Up until they decided to throw in that mental illness issue with the little girls and the whole, the epidemic affecting them mentally and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I was like, fuck this show. I'd rather watch fucking the Romero movies.
Yeah.
Because, that's realer and shit like that. Dawn of the Dead, the remake that came out and stuff.
You didn't see the little girl's like mental dilemmas.
Oh, well, I mean, up until I saw that episode, or those episodes, I think it was season 5.
Yeah.
It's 4 or
I
5.
mean, I don't know, but yeah.
Well, anyways, I saw those episodes, and once I saw those episodes, I'm like, oh, shit. Never thought about that.
Oh,
so I
so-
doubled
okay,
back,
okay.
and I started watching the show from the beginning, because it was all on Netflix.
So in other words, it's not that you said fuck this show, but you said like, oh snap.
No, well, that's what got me hooked on the show, was the innovative ideas
Of the little girls.
that they were just implementing.
Okay. It's
certain-
because I heard a different thing. That's why.
Oh, okay. Well, no. And so I feel like this now brings it back to that. Because
Yeah.
now, hey, we know who Negan is.
Mhm.
And now he's going to weaponize the
People,
fucking...
zombies.
Yeah.
Well, not people.
It's like
But
they've
the
never
zombie
been able to
infection.
weaponize the infection.
Yeah.
They've never even talked about it, considered it, or nothing. And now fucking Negan and what's his fuck's name? Eugene are going to do it.
Eugenics.
Eugenics.
Watch him
Fucking
just be
Joe.
like some
Hitler shit.
type character. He's just like, fuck
He
it, dude.
is. He's like that
We
evil
should-
doctor behind
Yeah,
the curtains and shit.
Yeah.
Negan's Hitler.
yeah.
No.
Hitler's
Eugene. Yeah. Hitler's doctor. Whatever. You're the
Yeah.
mad scientist.
Yeah.
Negan's- I'm sure there's some popular mad scientists in history. I just don't know their names.
Igor. No. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
No.
He's Hitler's Frankenstein.
Yes,
Frankenstein.
master.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, I
See, that's the power of TV, guys.
see. Mark, what do we want? We don't even know what we're watching.
Let's see. Oh, I wrote down that Maggie's hot when she's being dominant.
Oh, and that's
To the
something that we brought
prisoners.
up too. Well, I don't know why you wrote that shit, but
Well, no, because she was being fucking when she was talking to the previous governor of Hilltop and like to one of the other prisoners. She was just being like fucking rough, and I was just I don't know. I don't know. It's because I'm a little buzzed, but I was a little turned on. But
well,
Yeah, Maggie's just hot in general.
I didn't catch that scene. But yeah, Maggie is hot in general, which is why I definitely
Maggie's
noticed
hot.
that I feel like the show's desexualizing her ever since Glenn died.
desexualized.
Yeah, like she's a beautiful woman, dude. She's hot.
But I think they're trying to desexualize her. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like
She's
How?
showing, she's showing less cleavage.
What?
I'm not. No, I'm being honest.
No,
like,
they
she's more
like,
covered up, and I think it's purposely they're
I
doing
don't-
that. It's like she's mourning for Glenn, and they don't
Glenn-
want to like.
just
She's wearing
They
the
wanna
same
let
thing
some
she's
time
always
pass.
just
at.
double back and take a look at some of the episodes of when either Glenn was pursuing
Yeah.
her or they were just already kind of in love and stuff like that.
You know what?
Tell me she didn't look sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like now that it's not a bad thing. It's nothing really. But I feel like they try to make it a point that like, oh, no sex for Maggie or some shit like that. You know?
Well, you know what? I'll have to look back, but I didn't get that. So maybe I mean that's why I still found her attractive. Like as I was just explaining that like I found it attractive when she was being rough on those dudes. Again, maybe it could just be me being attracted to like being rough handled.
This may or may not have anything to do with with Glenn. No, not you.
Oh, I thought it was like
she's
my
also-
preferences and shit.
But it's like it also. But well, it has a lot to do with Glenn dying and her kind of like. She's always been kind of like a strong character, but she's always also been very like a nurturing character, right? She's always kind of had like that mother role, even though she wasn't a mom yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now she's more of like a strict mom. You know, like those moms that are just like, your ass over here right now.
Like the ones that were with the badass in their younger years and then in their older years. It's like they can't stand that anymore, and like they just want the
like that.
They want the things they can control.
Yeah. I think she has like she's. I don't know. She lost her husband or whatever. So of course she's like she's changed. You know. Yeah. She's not putting up with people's shit anymore, and I feel like she was more.
Definitely.
Understanding before. Now she's just like.
That's what speaks to her dominance towards the prisoners and shit. So, do you guys remember the scene where Tara tries to kill Dwight because, like, she's like, fuck Dwight. He's trying to trade us and shit. Like, even though Dwight's been helping out Daryl and trying to tell him, like, what Negan's up to and shit like that. And fucking finally, Dwight escapes. Tara still tries to hunt him down and shit, but then she realizes that Dwight's telling, or at least being honest in his,
I think there's a discrepancy between, like, how.
Well, let me finish.
Certain characters view. Alright, go ahead, finish.
Well, I was just gonna say that, like, Tara, at least it makes it seem like Tara finally realizes that Dwight is being honest in the sense of, like, trying to help them out. Because when he finally meets up with Negan's group, he doesn't divulge.
Yeah, he gets back in touch with his old group.
Yeah, he doesn't divulge the information that he has of fucking Rick's group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he still stays honest to that. At least up to now. Maybe in the future he'll be a dick and, you know. Or maybe there'll be a circumstance where he might be a still hero.
Because he was with them for a while and he was trying to prove to her that, look, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to survive and everyone's individual. And I think that's what's going on. Like everyone, it's like every man for himself. I think that's what the whole show is kind of.
And plus he has more reason to be on Rick's group side. Because, I mean, Negan was fucking his wife, bro.
Exactly, yeah. So
like, I mean, as a man.
Well, I'm not saying I blame him and shit.
No. I mean, there's no blame, but it's just if there's a question as to which side he pertains to, I'm pretty sure he's on Rick's side of things.
They just kind of make Tara look really dumb, I think.
Yeah.
You know, or very like closed-minded, like not seeing. You know, I mean. For her to be mad at him, I mean, I understand, like, alright, I sound like an asshole, they killed your girlfriend or whatever. You know, but he didn't do it. You know, it wasn't him, and so, like, I don't know, that whole, I guess, like, she's associating him with the, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I see your point, yeah. But that's a whole dilemma within the whole story.
Everyone's just like, alright, get over it, Tara, you know, they kind of just make it.
Well, then again...
It's not, he didn't do it, you know, he's just a person, and everyone, if you're living in that world, like, you know that it's every man for himself, so, like, they're just kind of showing how naive Tara is, and how...
Was Homeboy still part of Negan's group when Tara's girlfriend got killed?
Wait, well, what?
Terra?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was part of.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And he was present for that assault, right?
I don't remember that part, but it may because I remember him being there around the trail. So yes, I think you might be right. I think he was
So
present.
that might be where it stems from.
Yeah.
Then, right?
Yeah,
Like her
yeah,
hate
yeah.
for him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's probably legit. Yeah, maybe I was just kind of
So-
trying to decriminalize
But
him.
all right,
It
so
seems like
okay,
a nice guy.
that makes-
No,
Faces
but
burnt,
I
you know,
feel that
think
way
they do
too.
that
Like I like
yeah.
him. Like you
Yeah.
know, like
I mean, they want you to like him. They burned half of his face. So you feel sorry for the guy. You know, like,
and also
poor
because like he
guy.
fucking didn't want Negan to fuck his wife, so
Like,
that's
And
like
all,
a
yeah,
fuck-
Yeah.
yeah. So
So-
he's like the perfect victim,
Mhm.
which is
Dude.
very different from Daryl, considering that
He's a
Yeah,
character
he's the-
derived
yeah,
from
from
him.
Carol.
Yeah, yeah.
those
Daryl.
fucking scenes where he would just meet up with his wife while they were still at Negan's compound and just share a cigarette like at that staircase and stuff like. Oh my god, my heart broke for him, dude, in those scenes because
exactly.
it's like fuck that's like a real scenario that like
Yeah.
I could see people having that type of scenario
happened to
just
me.
thanks to circumstance.
That's-
What?
No, that never happened. That'd be great. That'd be a good
fucker.
story to tell though if it did happen.
My heart was cracking
And
for
you're
you
like,
right
no
now.
way, dude. Oh. Damn.
But yeah, shit. So yeah, next point.
All right. Redhead comes to seduce Eugene, but he puts her in her place by making her get him a sandwich.
Hold on. What's up with this? Puts her in her place.
Yeah,
sex
dude.
and Shit?
Well,
don't,
'cause-
don't. Puts her in her place.
Yeah,
What's up with that?
No,
dude?
no. I'll tell you why.
He put her in her place.
She's hot. She's just a fucking.
I'll tell you why. No.
Come here,
I'll tell
belly
you why.
warmer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Well, she's
Because-
working for Negan. She's just trying to get
Exactly.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all know
Yeah,
she.
yeah.
Stop trying to paint me in a fucking bad light,
I
motherfucker.
had
We
an
all knew
opportunity
this.
and I went
So
for it,
wait,
yeah.
is it official? Is it official, or do you suspect?
No, it's
that She's
official.
just fishing for information.
It's
Or-
official because especially the
What
way
was
she
her
reacted.
purpose?
and
Yeah, I
shit.
don't know who she was or why she was.
He was there to. She was there to make him comfortable, so he would comply with Negan's fucking.
Yeah, but
Uh,
he's got like Asperger's, so he's just like yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He
Yeah,
put her
he's
in
not-
her
he
place
doesn't
by
care about
saying,
what she says.
"Bitch,
Like, he's
I ain't
just
looking for pussy. I'm just looking for a good-looking sandwich. So get me a sandwich."
Right.
That's basically what he says.
I think they're slowly but surely turning Eugene into a badass. I mean, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, okay," everyone roots for the underdog, and now they're making him into like this, ultimate nerd character.
Goes back to us being a virus.
So many of us relate
symbiotic.
to, because we're all like from this. We're all nerds, We're all watching this shit and taking notes on it and talking about it.
I'm just saying.
We really think, at the end of the day.
I didn't mean he put her in her place in the sense that I think he put her in her place. I'm saying in the sense that the way he reacted was like in an aggressive
No, you
tone.
totally meant it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No,
You put that bitch in her place.
Yeah.
That hot, that sexy redhead.
like it couldn't be. He put her down.
It's like, dang it, dude. Like, you got some resentment.
He put that bitch in her place. Oh, get some.
Well,
Yeah.
No, seriously.
I'm just
Sounds
teasing.
personal, dude. Sounds personal. That's all I'm saying, dude.
Oh shit.
Alright.
So back to we finished it. Oh, we need to grade this fucking episode. That's what we need to do.
Grade it? Grade it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say.
Cause like
as far
for the last two episodes,
far as
I gave the
Walking
first
Dead,
one a
can I be
fucking
honest?
8. The second one I gave like a 7, I believe.
I was about to
don't
say
remember.
C plus, so that's about a 7. What do you think about
This one, I think I'm gonna honestly.
As far as Walking
I'm gonna
Dead's
give it a
concerned.
fucking 5
it? I'll give it a 4. But if
This
you're talking
episode.
about like,
out of 10.
if this was a podcast on life, I would give it an 8.
No, we're talking about
For the
the
podcast
episode.
or the episode?
No, we're talking about The Walking Dead season 8, episode
the
11.
Episode. I thought we were grading ourselves.
No.
I was like, I like this, Aleph. I like this. We're fucking like, we're being proactive here. We're trying to do better the next time. No,
Fuck
right?
off.
I'm serious, dude. Like, I think that's good.
We're grading the fucking episode
All
for it,
right.
which is the whole purpose of this stupid podcast.
You
So-
said it yourself, dude. Stupid podcast.
I don't deny it. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. Nobody's got to listen to it, but
On
still.
the straight ride.
But anyways, So
Dun, dun.
when it comes to episode, which by the way, I didn't even give off the name. This episode's titled "Dead or Alive," or, and there's no question mark, but the last word is or.
Yeah,
Dead on
they're
the
just
inside.
They're trying to reiterate this idea that some people are still human, some people are still like closer to the dead, and some people are in between.
Yeah.
That's a whole. It's the same thing that's been going on forever.
It's part of the
I
agenda,
don't
bro.
disagree.
It's part of the agenda.
They want us all to be walking zombies, just consuming shit.
Which, to a certain degree, I guess someone could make the argument that we are. So.
That's what I'm saying. It's part of the agenda, bro.
He just made that argument. Yeah. And I guess
All right. Well.
It's like, what?
Let's in grading this episode, to be honest with you, I give this episode a most generous 6 out of 10. Cause fucking I'm only watching at this point because I'm invested in the characters and
Which one?
somewhat of the story. All the characters that are still alive from like the
invested in?
previous
Who are you
seasons and shit. Like Rick for damn sure, Michonne.
I think I saw
Maggie.
a meme. I saw a meme where it was a picture of like the cast within the show, and it said like only 3 or 4 of them are original members from the group.
Daryl, Carol,
And Rick, probably,
Rick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl and Rick from the first season.
Daryl and Rick.
So, but I mean, in that, like I said, I'm still invested within those characters and shit like that, and that's why I continue to watch it. But overall, I give this episode, just like a solid 6. Like, I don't think it's anything great or anything. It's just like whatever episode. We could have skipped this episode anyways.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
What about you?
I'd say a 6. Yeah,
Yeah, 6.
it sounds right. I think you said 5 earlier, but I'd
Did I say
6.
5?
You said 5.5.
I'm a little bunk. I'm a little drunk, so.
A little blunt.
I don't feel like I can rate it because I only came
Yeah,
in
you came in halfway.
halfway.
But then I wouldn't say you missed much. You got pretty much the gist of the whole episode.
Well, then if that's the case, and based on your guys' rating, I'm gonna have to go with a hard 2.
Oh damn! You went low.
Yeah.
No, I mean
So-
I'm cutting it in half, just because I didn't
Well,
see
half would
half
be
this
3.
episode, but also no. That would be cutting your guys' rating in half, but I'm cutting my rating in half because
Oh,
I
so
came
the
in halfway
4
through the
before?
viewing, and then I'm considering your guys' rating, and then cutting that in half also.
All right. Well,
So
you're
it's just a
doing math.
combination of
Very
shit.
pessimistic combination. What if there was something you missed that was really good?
Well,
Yeah,
you
we
guys
just
would have brought
rated
it up.
You guys would have probably brought it up.
I was waiting for you guys
Yeah.
to say something. I'd be like, oh shit, oh damn.
Oh,
You were
shit.
here for the part of this.
All
That's
right.
true. That's true.
Well, in combined scores, I think we come. Like, I'm not doing any math, but it's around like a 4, I would assume.
Show's dying, bro. The show's dying, bro.
Does your phone not have a calculator?
I don't want to do math right now.
All you
Okay.
do is add up the totals, divide by the whatever.
Thanks for joining us for episode 11 of season 8. I mean, I'll be doing a Walking Dead one for as long as they're not a Walking Dead episode, so you can join us in for that, or like you said, join us in for something
Dude,
else. So.
I am so down. If you guys want to just start like a discussion group
We should just
podcast,
call it like fucking dead.
that's it. You coined it. He coined it.
Hell no!
That's
what the
it.
Fuck? What the fuck
Fucking
does
dead.
that mean?
Just it's
Are we fucking
it's-
dead or are we fucking dead?
it's exotic
Fucking dead
and
people,
provocative.
Are we fucking
Are we like literally fucking dead?
Just
or
put
are we
quotations
fucking
around it.
The dead.
Fucking dead, bitch.
It's like
Let people's
It's like,
minds
what?
take over. You get to know them better.
I don't know, dude. I'm just.
Oh, you're fucking the dead. You're a fucking necrophiliac, bitch.
But then they listen and they're like,
Oh, he's fucking dead.
yeah, fucking
Dead
dead.
inside.
We're all fucking dead. At the end.
See, this is awesome.
Yeah, let's just get drunk.
Alright, well, let's close this shit off.
Record it.
See you guys next week.
See y'all later.
Peace out.